it comes to third-party companies, Capcom is the juggernaut of the bunch. Having created a countless number of franchises that have either taken the world by storm or have a tight-knit community that continues to play their games for years on end, it's no wonder that Capcom is one of the primary companies fans look to when asking for third-party characters for Smash Bros. Despite the fact that we already have 3 of their most iconic characters already playable in the game. There are so many fantastic choices out there when choosing a Capcom character to join the battle, and I've already covered 2 characters that are amongst the most sought after. But today, we're talking about a character from a franchise whose ties to Nintendo and recent explosion in popularity makes them a franchise that people not only want a playable character from, but is already represented in Smash as we speak. Prepare yourself as Monster Hunter joins the battle! Monster Hunter is a powerful mixed-ranged heavyweight who has the potential to excel at all ranges thanks to the immense amount of tools they have at their disposal. From swapping between massive blades with a ton of reach but a ton of recoil, to smaller blades that do little damage but are incredibly fast, Monster Hunters have a tool for almost every situation, should you be prepared ahead of time. However, like in Monster Hunter itself, these characters' attacks are evened out by long recovery times, and should you get too reckless, you'll end up getting heavily punished. You can't just wildly swing your blade around and expect to slay the monster. You have to play carefully and choose when it's time to attack and time to back off. Learning moderation will not only make you a better hunter, but a better Smash player as well. Monster Hunter stands as a large humanoid character, their massive weapons standing far taller than their actual hurt boxes. In terms of mobility, Monster Hunter comes equipped with the standard 2 jump package, while also being able to wall jump and crawl. Their overall movement speed is middle of the road, being able to keep up with a decent chunk of the cast despite lugging around oversized weaponry, while their overall aerial mobility is very limited, making it very hard to change direction. Whatever direction you choose, you're practically forced to stick to it. Monster Hunter's main character mechanic is actually less of a gimmick and more of a staple of the series itself. A set of special tools that many a hunter bring along with them on every hunt. While it's simply just a backpack in Monster Hunter, here in Smash it has been dubbed the Hunter Pack. Barrel bombs, traps, whetstones, trank bombs, and bounce bombs. This set of 5 tools are the staple items used by hunters when battling monsters in Monster Hunter, regardless of what weapon they specialize in, and these all incorporate into Monster Hunter's Down Special, all having their own specific uses. However, like in Monster Hunter, they come in a limited supply, and there's no way to get them back once you use them. In Monster Hunter, you'd have to trek all the way back to your camp in order to cycle out more items to use. But there is a way to get there a lot faster. That's right, feigning. Keeping faithful to their series, Monster Hunters will only restock on their items once they lose a stock, so choose when to use your precious items carefully, for competitive Smash follows the same rules as Monster Hunter. Cart 3 times and you're finished. Now we get into the true staple of the Monster Hunter series, and that's the over-the-top weaponry that said hunters bring into battle. This hunter, in particular, is capable of using 5 different weapons in combat, those being the Greatsword, the Dual Blades, the Charge Blade, the Insect Glaive, and the Bow, each weapon having different attack strengths, reach, and trade-offs in battle. Also, almost every single attack these hunters have is a target combo, meaning that if you press the button multiple times in a row, it will lead to more attacks, which can either lead to more damage or leave you open to damage should you miss. Monster Hunter's neutral jab is the basic combo of their first weapon, the Charge Blade. This 3-hit combo hits hard and makes the hunter move forward as they attack. However, if you hold down the A button, the hunter will instead have a different attack at their disposal, namely a powerful double slash attack. His attack comes out fast and hits quite hard, but the charge time and cooldown makes it a risky tool to use when an opponent is advancing on you. Monster Hunter's side tilt also centers around the Charge Blade, namely its shield stun combo. This combo will have the hunter deliver an advancing slash before thrusting their shield up, deflecting incoming attacks and dealing decent damage in the process. This attack, however, cannot deflect incoming projectiles, and can be blocked and punished by grabs or quick close range attacks. Monster Hunter's Up Tilt is the first attack to use the dual blade weapon, which is their double round slash combo. This spinning blade attack will deal rapid damage, with the second round slash barrage popping the opponent up into the air for a possible follow-up attack. Monster Hunter's Down Tilt is the second combo attack utilizing the dual blades, which is its basic combo string. These blades will strike low towards the opponent's feet, this quick hitting combo hitting a total of 8 times with the final hit pushing the opponent back. For their dash attack, Monster Hunter will also use the dual blades, namely its iconic lunging strike attack, running forward with both blades extended before slashing wide, dealing extra damage at the end of the attack. This attack's damage is pretty good, but it isn't safe on shield. For their get-up attack, Monster Hunter will spin their insect glaive around themselves, this being the only ground-based attack the weapon has. As they spin the weapon, their Kinsect will also attack nearby enemies as it flies around its master. Lastly, for their ledge attack, the hunter will attack using a massive arrow they pull from their back, these being the arrows used by their bow weapon. Monster Hunter's smash attacks are designed to be some of the hardest hitting smash attacks in the game, utilizing 2 separate weapons to achieve an enormous amount of damage. The Hunter's forward smash is the first attack that will use the most iconic weapon in the series, the Great Sword. Using a profound amount of strength, the Hunter will cleave this sword down, dealing insane amounts of damage and putting Deity's hammer to shame in the process. However, once the blade falls, it will take a moment for the Hunter to reposition themselves, leaving them wide open to incoming damage. Up Smash will also use the Great Sword, with the Hunter swinging it up over their head in a massive arc much like that of Ike and Ganondorf's Up Smash. However, the range on this blade is far greater than even Ganon's sword, and as a result, it will hit even harder and take a lot longer to recover from. Attacks like this are the best place for the Great Sword to show its raw power, for it's an insanely heavy weapon and should feel like such. As iconic as it is, I don't feel as if it's possible to show the weapon's true might in a full moveset. Finally, Down Smash will bring back the Charge Blade for one last basic attack, this one utilizing its Morphax ability to swing out around the Hunter. This attack will actually start behind the Hunter before moving in front of them, finishing with yet another slash behind them, making this attack perfect for catching rolls. In Monster Hunter, there's only one weapon that's categorized as the king of aerial-based combat, and that's the Insect Glaive, which is used for every single one of the Hunter's aerial attacks. Neutral Air is the Insect Glaive's fully charged aerial spin, in which the Hunter will spin and do rapid damage until they touch the ground. This move is one of the strongest attacks when it comes to mounting monsters, and like in Monster Hunter, this move will continue to deal damage until the Hunter touches the ground. Forward Air is the Insect Glaive's advancing slash, in which the Hunter will rush forward while rapidly slashing and spinning the glaive. This is an insanely strong mobility tool in Monster Hunter, or if the Hunter manages to hit the monster with the final hit, they'll receive an extra jump into the air for another possible advancing slash. In Smash, this move will rush the Hunter forward as well, and yes, just like in their home franchise, if the Hunter manages to get off the last hit on an opponent, they will footstool their opponent. However, this move's hitbox lasts a very long time, and it covers a lot of distance, so the player would have to position themselves very carefully to actually do this, so this isn't something you can just pick up and do on your first try. Down Air is the Insect Glaive's piercing drop, in which the Hunter will face the Insect Glaive's blade down towards the ground and drop straight down, dealing massive damage in the process. This move is another fast fall down aerial, in the same vein as Bowser and Ridley, and will deal high damage with the offset of being slow to recover, just like said characters' down airs. Back Air is the Insect Glaive's standard aerial attack, which is a simple powerful swing. It covers a solid amount of range and deals a decent amount of damage, a majority of said damage being from the blade of the glaive itself. For Up Air, however, a new move had to be designed. as there's no move that is designed to attack directly above the hunter with the glaive while in the air, as the whole point is that you're supposed to be dancing around your prey from above. As a result, I'm transitioning one of the glaive's grounded moves into an aerial attack, in which the hunter will swing the glaive up and over their head to deal damage. And like the back air, most of the damage is situated in the blade of the weapon. Monster Hunter's grab is the Crush Claw, a fun new tool introduced in the expansion for Monster Hunter World, Iceborne. This long-range claw-shaped tool is used for mounting monsters from a distance, but in Smash, it will pull the opponent to the hunter as opposed to pulling the hunter to the opponent, which makes sense considering the weight difference between a gorilla and an even bigger gorilla that can breathe lightning and chuck enormous boulders at you. For a pummel, the hunter will knee their opponent. The hunter's throws all take advantage of a unique tool from Monster Hunter World, that being the Slinger. While initially a long-range tool, the introduction of the Crush Claw added a lot of unique, close-range options to the weapon that I think perfectly match with the fact that the Crush Claw is the hunter's grab. For the forward throw, the hunter will load their slinger with a bomb pod before punching the opponent in the face, the bomb pod exploding and knocking the opponent away. This powerful throw acts as the hunter's main kill throw. Back throw will have the hunter load a flash pod into their slinger before shooting the ground, stunning the opponent before they move in behind them, hitting the opponent with a straight smash from the greatsword. Up throw will also utilize bomb pods, but instead of hitting the opponent directly in the face with it, they'll shoot it at the opponent's feet to launch them up into the air. Finally, down throw will load a rock into their slinger, knocking out the opponent's balance by shooting them in the shins with it. After that, the hunter will kick the opponent away using the kick emote, a Monster Hunter staple that has been around since the beginning of the series. Now we get to the specials, which not only brings out the last of the hunter's arsenal into play, but also flushes out two of the hunter's more unique and versatile weapons. For their neutral special, Monster Hunter will wield a bow and arrow, which is not uncommon to say the least. However, this isn't your Hero of Time's bow and arrow. This is a Monster Hunter's bow and arrow, and this thing can do a lot more than simply just hold button and shoot arrow. This attack has not one, not two, but 5 attacks associated with it, and this is all just one special move. Yes, the entire Monster Hunter bow moveset is mapped to a single button, and here's how it works. If you quickly tap the B button, you'll fire off a quick shot, which are 3 smaller arrows being shot at once. These arrows are relatively weak and don't travel that far, but if you press the B button again, right afterward, you'll release a power shot. These arrows will not only travel further, but also hit harder and travel faster, at the cost of a longer recovery state. These arrows are best used when either advancing or when trying to stop an opponent from rushing you down. If you hold the B button, you'll enter a charge state, and the longer you hold, the more damage you'll deal, on top of completely changing how the move works. If you release almost right away, you'll release 1 arrow that will travel the full distance. If you charge enough to see a single flash, you'll fire off 2 arrows as opposed to 1. But if you manage to hold the button long enough to see 2 flashes, you're at max charge, and firing now will release 3 very fast, very powerful arrows that can shred defenses. While charging, you can also hold backwards on the control stick to aim up into the air, and firing in this state will have you release an arc shot. This massive arrow will fly up into the air before bursting open and releasing a massive amount of caltrops down onto your opponent's head, dealing rapid damage the longer your opponent stands under the downpour of metal. The caltrops, while they hurt in large numbers, doesn't actually make your opponent flinch, but it can act as a wall of damage your opponent will need to pass through in order to reach you. Finally, if you hold B and A at the same time, you'll unleash a special version of the charge shot known as the Dragon Piercer. This enormous arrow will rip through anything in its path, hitting multiple targets and breaking apart the shield of anyone dumb enough to try and block it. This arrow will take less time to charge than the standard shot, but thanks to the opening animation and the cooldown, it overall takes longer to recover from using this move. These are the main attacks the bow is capable of using in Monster Hunter, and all of them are lovingly recreated in Smash Bros. For their side special, the Monster Hunter will once again don their enormous greatsword for the weapon's most iconic attack, the Charge Slash. In Monster Hunter, this attack was a set of 3 attacks that would have to be activated separately for maximum efficiency. But in Smash Bros., this has instead been turned into a multi-stage charge attack, with the particular Charge Slash you get being dependent on how long you hold the button for. The first 2 slashes are powerful and cover a lot of range, but it's the final slash that truly takes the cake, mixing 2 powerful slashes together to absolutely destroy anything in its path. The staple tool for severing tails and breaking body parts is one of, if not the, hardest hitting attacks in the game. But like everything related to the greatsword, it is very slow on the recovery, so if you whiff this attack, you can kiss your ass goodbye. For the recovery special, the insect glaive is back once again to show off its main mechanic as a weapon, and that is its vault ability. Acting much like that of a pogo stick, the hunter will launch themselves up into the air after a brief startup period, allowing for free movement and the option to attack immediately after jumping. However, this initial spring isn't the glaive's only recovery mechanic. The hunter has 2 more movement options after vaulting. By pressing the B button again in one of 2 directions, the hunter will perform a mid-air dash, which is called the jump dodge, greatly improving their horizontal recovery in the process. If the player holds the B button, however, they'll also be able to release an attack during the initial dash. In total, the player has 3 different recovery options, where they can either vault and attack normally, vault and perform a jump attack, or vault, jump dodge, then release a jump attack, giving the hunter a total of 2 mid-air dashes to work with. The hunter isn't stuck in one direction either, as they can dash one way before dashing the opposite direction to attack in order to catch their opponents off guard. Definitely a fun recovery option to say the least. For the down special, we come full circle from the hunter's character mechanic, which is called Hunter Pack. This special mimics the inventory seen throughout the Monster Hunter series, which consists of a roulette that only allows for the hunter to have 1 item active at a time. By holding down B and using the control stick to move left and right, the hunter can choose one of 5 different items to use against their opponent, these being barrel bombs, shock traps, trank bombs, bounce bombs, and whetstones. Barrel bombs are the traditional explosive ordnance of the Monster Hunter series, often being saved for quick and easy ways of finishing off monsters when they go to sleep. The hunter can carry a total of 5 barrels on their person, and can only have 2 of them active on the field at any given time. And just like in Monster Hunter, the bombs do not explode after a set period of time, and require an incoming attack to set them off. This is your job as a hunter, to set up the explosion and make sure it counts, but to also be careful of your placement, for the hunter will still take damage from the barrels themselves, although they will only take half the damage their opponents take, so if you want to be a bit reckless with it, by all means, swing away. Shock traps are a device that you can place on the ground that will stun any monster that walks over it for a brief period of time. This tool being a common commodity amongst those who prefer catching their monsters instead of killing them. When an opponent walks over this device, they will be shocked and be put into a stun state for a small period of time, with the more damage they have elongating the shock effects. Due to their powerful utility, the hunter can only use 1 of these per life, so you better make it count. Don't worry though, you can't set it off yourself, and the trap doesn't go away until it has been activated. Trank bombs are the partner in crime to the shock trap, as while the trap locks the monster in place, the trank bomb finishes the job. In Smash Bros., these bombs will deal minimal damage upon hitting an opponent, but should you manage to hit your opponent with 2 bombs in short succession, you'll put them to sleep, much like Jigglypuff's Sing. Just like in Monster Hunter, the hunter can hold a total of 8 bombs on them at any given time, which is good since these are counted as projectiles and aren't the easiest thing to land. The whetstone, in Monster Hunter, is the only way the hunter can repair their weapons when out in the field, for their weapon will grow dull after you hit your target enough times. In Smash Bros., this channeled ability will give the hunter increased damage for a set number of attacks, but like in Monster Hunter, it's very hard to get off a whetstone sharpening when there's enemies breathing down your neck. Pick your chance carefully, and when you think you have an opportunity, go for broke. as there's no limit to the amount of times you can use this item. Finally, the Bounce Bomb is a unique type of bomb that, when set off, will fly up into the air and explode after a set period of time. This bomb was one of the best ways for the non-insect Glaive players to knock flying monsters out of the sky before the Crush Clock came out. But even then, this was still a very hard item to use due to the delay between placing the bomb and letting it fly. In Smash Bros., this bomb will fly up into the air and explode after a 2-second delay, leading to potential throw follow-ups if done properly. Like barrel bombs, the hunter can carry a maximum of 5 bounce bombs on them at any given time. As previously stated, all of these tools can only be used in limited numbers per stock, just like in Monster Hunter. Preparation is half the battle in Monster Hunter, and I felt that said spirit should be carried over to Smash Bros. Should the character ever be playable. Finally, the hunter gets a surprise visit from one of the series' many iconic monsters in their final smash, which has been dubbed Unstable Environment. In Monster Hunter, any quest that has the potential of other large monsters showing up to attack you is labeled with the Unstable Environment sticker, and it just so happens that one of 5 different monsters can show up to ruin your opponent's day, these being the Rathalos, the Zinogre, the Tigrex, the Gormagala, and the most iconic to the ideals of ruining your fun, the Deviljho. When the final smash begins, the opponent will be pinned by said monster, taking a barrage of attacks while the hunter sets up a trap in the background. After a few seconds that feel like years of wailing on your opponent, the camera will pan back to show the massive barrel bomb trap placed by the hunter, letting fireworks fly with the impact of a dragon piercer shot. Both the monster and the opponent will be engulfed in the explosion, the monster running off as the opponent is launched skyward. Also, all monsters deal the same damage, but since each monster has a unique attack animation associated with them, it makes the final smash a fun experience for everyone. Except the guy getting mauled to death, of course. Monster Hunter has had a plethora of victory themes over the years, but if I had to pick a single one for a victory theme for the Hunter, I'd pick the Mission Complete theme from what is regarded as the best game in the series, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Joker isn't the only one who totes around a cool cat from their miscellaneous animations, but the Hunter's Palico joins them for not only all of their victory animations, but all of their taunts as well. The Hunter's first victory animation will have the Hunter dust themselves off before whistling for a Pterodax transport back to base, their Palico hopping onto their back as they fly away off screen. The Hunter's second victory animation is a classic staple of Monster Hunter, and that's cooking meat. The hunter will be sitting down, rotating their barbecue spit before quickly pulling the meat off and raising it into the air, their Palico celebrating as a familiar phrase can be heard.
So tasty!
Finally, victory animation number 3 will have the hunter plant their weapon into the ground before posing proudly, their Palico mimicking their stance as they both look into the camera in front of them. Monster Hunter is no stranger to taunts. In fact, there's so many that I almost didn't know where to start. However, I think I picked out a couple of fun and unique ones from the long list of gestures and emotes. Taunt number 1 will have the hunter goat their opponent into attacking them, their Palico hopping up and down in the background in an angry fashion, similarly to the way the Grimalkin would animate the moment they spotted a player in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Taunt number 2 will have the hunter flex as a means of boasting their strength, this animation being identical to the same one the hunter used to have after consuming a consumable in all Monster Hunter games before World. Their Palico, of course, will match their animation. Finally, taunt number 3 will have the hunter shadow box, throwing out punches in front of them while their Palico swings their weapon around. This taunt will deal minimal damage to any opponent it hits, just like it can in both the Monster Hunter series and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. And now we come to the colors, where the hunters get to show off the amazing armor that Monster Hunter has to offer. As a matter of fact, it's so good that I actually came up with 2 different sets of colors. One for a hunter that's both male and female, and the other for a hunter that's only female. The first set of colors starts off with the iconic Rathalos armor, with the first color being female and the second one being male. For colors 3 and 4, both hunters will don Zinogre armor, but particularly the G-Rank armor from Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, as this was not only the most popular Zinogre armor ever made, but it would also go on to be the staple armor of the Stygian Zinogre, and as a result, it's far more coveted than any other Zinogre-themed armor in the series. For colors 5 and 6, the hunters will don Kirin armor, but the Kirin armor is one of the most iconic armor sets for the female hunters. Finally, colors 7 and 8 will have the hunters don Nargacuga armor, which is themed after ninjas. For the all-female color set, the main color used is also Rathalos armor. The second set is Rathian armor. Color number 3 is the super iconic Kirin armor. Color number 4 is the Gore Magala armor. Color number 5 is the 3U G-Rank version of the Zinogre armor. Color number 6 is Tigrex armor. Color number 7 is Brachydios armor. And finally, color number 8 is once again Nargacuga armor. Also, when Kirby absorbs the Monster Hunter, he'll gain a replica of the female's Rathalos helm, allowing for the player to see Kirby's face through the helmet as opposed to the male one that covers the entire face. With this, Kirby gains access to all of the unique bow attacks the hunter has, including the likes of Dragon Piercer. I imagine this has the potential to be an incredibly strong tool in the hands of Kirby, should it be used properly. And with that, Monster Hunter has officially joined the battle. As someone who has been playing this series for almost 10 years at this point, I would love for the opportunity to play as Monster Hunter in Smash Bros. And if Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite taught me anything, it's that the hunter has the potential to be an incredibly fun fighting game character. However, the hunter is in a bit of an odd spot, for their series is technically already in Smash Bros. As the Rathalos, the flagship monster of the series, is a boss. While it wouldn't be a new series represented per se, the fact that they put in Monster Hunter at all tells me that it's a franchise big enough to be in Smash Bros. So why not go all the way and put in an actual hunter to show these Smash characters how to really hunt a Rathalos? I think it definitely has a chance of happening, seeing as there's a ton of locations they could choose for a stage, on top of a library full of incredible and iconic tracks. Smash Ultimate got in 2 of them, which isn't even reaching the surface, let alone trying to scratch it. I really want to see a Monster Hunter playable in this game, and in all honesty, it seems like a race between the Hunter and Dante as to which Capcom character will get into the game next. Only time will tell which one wins the race, if either one even gets in. If you like what you saw, feel free to like and subscribe, as there's more videos like this coming in the near future. I am not dead. I'm sorry that my schedule has been so bad, but hey, you know what? Sometimes life just happens. You can also follow my Twitter from the description to keep up on what's coming next, video updates, or hey, I'm kind of an artist and I do have commissions open, and that's the best financial way to support both myself and these videos. Anyways, have a good night and stay safe out there.